Get this figure and more at Hobby Genki, sponsored by Tobey. If you know anything about this channel, you'd know that I really love Tobey Maguire's rendition of Spider-Man. So much so that I reviewed every single major release of his No Way Home counterpart, starting from the critically acclaimed SH Figuarts to having two different styles of the KO of said figure duke it out for KO supremacy. Hell, against my better judgment, I decided to get the Marvel Legends version despite me knowing it was going to be hot ass. Hell, I even went as far as to get the fucking Funko Pop despite me not liking Funko Pop. Side note, isn't it crazy how the Funko Pop has trilogy accurate lenses? I am not getting the Hot Toys figure unless you got the $800 I need to get something like that. It seems like the company everyone was waiting for with bated breaths to do Tobey next was Mafex. It wasn't long before we got our first teaser of what was to come. Of course, this blurry ass picture of a prototype friendly neighborhood Spider-Man was all we had to go off of, and wait until we got full color photos, and god, does he look beautiful. And then the floodgates for pre-orders opened up, and of course, I had to snag mine. So we waited for December to roll around, and then it got delayed till January. Then we waited again, and then it got delayed to February. And then we waited again! And then we waited again! And then we waited again! As if it was about to get delayed again, but thank God it stopped right there, or else I would have had to start hunting people down.
I just want to talk to him.
Why do you have a shotgun?
I just want to talk to him.
Dad, this is ridiculous.
I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him.
It is not his fault.
I just want to shoot him.
And as of me writing the script, it seems like a lot of people are finally getting him in hand. And reactions are extremely mixed, but mostly it seems to be negative. I've been looking at all the in-hand pictures, and there definitely seems to be some cause for concern. But I want to wait until I actually get him in hand before I make any judgment calls myself. As much shit as I like to talk about Mafex, I still wanted to give this guy a shot because it's my favorite iteration of the webhead. And the only interactions I've had with Mafex is the bootleg Venom, CT-185, and the 001, along with the actual official 2.0 Mafex Venom joining my collection not too long after I got the KO Venom, and I still think he's a solid figure. Will the Mafex 241 change my opinion on Mafex forever, or will it cower in the superior shadow that is the SH Figuarts? Let's find out. He just made it to the warehouse, so he should be here in about another week.
I've got a package for ArachnidYouth. Here's the pen, and sign this part for me. Well, that was quick. This will show him.
He's finally here. I'm gonna be honest, I'm almost afraid to open it. The box ain't too bad. It's definitely more chunky than it's supposed to be because of the amount of accessories he has. Now it's time to stop being a chicken and actually open him up. Now before I get into everything, allow me to talk about the elephant in the room. As I mentioned before in the intro, I was seeing a lot of mixed reactions about this guy. I will point out the red definitely has some unnecessary gloss that definitely wasn't present in the prototype shots. I don't know why they changed this, like he looked perfect, but this top coat gloss just sours it. They should have just kept the red as a matte finish. It's like I bought in a whole pan of pepperoni pizza and some bitch nigga just dumped a whole can of chunk diced pineapple on it.
What you did was not nice! It's not nice to do that!
Like, what's wrong with you? Why did you change it from the prototype shots?
What's wrong with you?
But I will say that in person, the gloss is 100% not as bad as some of these photos will make you believe it is. Some of these guys just have really poor lighting that hits this figure a certain way. That issue aside, the brick pattern is way more properly sculpted and pronounced on this figure than the SHF, which felt like oval hexagons. My favorite thing about this is that the back logo has a kind of border on it if you look close enough. And here's where my bitching begins again, starting at the head. Holy fuck, this masked head sculpt looks rough. By default, it was always going to look rough because of the fact it's the No Way Home rendition of Tobey's mask, but SHF did an amazing job with how they did the No Way Home mask. Marvel Legends, on the other hand, jacked up his mask to the point to where I found it absolutely necessary to get an alternate head from Bar Rule Store. But Mafex Tobey feels like he's in the middle. His eyes are a weird silver paint with gunmetal rims, and they blend in way too much with the cobwebs, which is weird considering his eyes were a pearlescent white with black rims in the movie. And again, this was not present in the promo photos of the prototype, so what the fuck happened here? It's the gloss coat, isn't it? I'm just gonna blame the gloss coat, because hell, even the webbing on the mask is painted a bit thinner than I expected it to be. But let's be real, y'all know I'm just gonna get a Fall Rule Store head and replace this abomination masquerading as a Spider-Man mask.
Fall Rule Store! Drop a trilogy accurate head for the Mafex 241, and my life is yours.
Moving on to the proportions, he actually looks really good, minus the head. One issue people had with the SHF, understandably so, was that he didn't have the muscular proportions of Tobey's Spider-Man. The Mafex figure rectifies that by giving him defined muscles, and even great amount of shading going on the paint job. But then we run into another problem, his shoulders and his hips. Starting off with his hips.
Damn, boy, he's thick!
Jesus Christ, why'd they make his thighs so meaty? Another issue is these shoulders. A lot of in-hand photos made his shoulders look extremely gappy. Now, in hindsight, I see that it's because, for some strange reason, people just don't know how to pose his fucking shoulders. But to be fair, I don't blame everyone for this mistake, because Mafex decided it would be a great idea to have his shoulders start in his collarbone instead of at the sides of his chest. It leads to a very unnatural gap under his armpit area. SHF definitely did a better job in this regard. But hey, with all those gripes out of the way, he's still a solid figure. His color scheme is reminiscent of Spider-Man 2 and 3, and there's a neat little detail going on with his arms. His elbows are actually properly painted with the proper detailing this time. SHF for some reason just stuck with the blue segment for his elbow. Hell, even Hasbro knew to do this on their Marvel Legends figure. Bandai, how the fuck did you get outdone by fucking Hasbro of all companies?
You should kill yourself now.
Hey, quick question. What the fuck is going on with his midsection? Why is the red part doing this weird bubble thing? I decided to go look at some set photos to see if it was accurate, and no, it's not. You can kind of see it, but it's not as pronounced as this figure portrays it to be. I do kind of feel bad for ripping into this figure so much, because while the figure still looks cool, I can't help but spot all these little pet peeves that I come across upon closer inspection and analysis. And most of my problems with this figure, detail-wise, have everything to do with all the faithful No Way Home related details. Which, as time goes on, I've come to realize I despise this version of the Reveiw suit. My biggest point of contention is this mask and the chest emblem. Now you're probably wondering, well, Arachnid, what's wrong with the chest emblem? It looks just like the original trilogy. No, it just looks like some kid was asked to draw it from memory. The webbing is so flat and dulled out to the point to where me and my friend saw the movie in theaters. We thought it was just a flat lycra suit, but no, it's just that the webbing was not as raised as it was in the original trilogy, and it doesn't help that the webbing definitely looks more simplified, and as a result, looks kinda off. Back logo looks fine, kinda fits with how it looked in Spider-Man 2, honestly. Now that I pointed out those details, you're probably wondering, why does Tobey's look so different as opposed to Andrew's suit looking exactly the same way it did in The Amazing Spider-Man 2? Well, when they were filming for No Way Home and they got Andrew and Tobey on board, they had to go get their suits. You know, because you can't just have these two fighting the final battle in their street clothes. Turns out their suits were in storage. Andrew's suit looked as good as new, and as he attests to interviews, it was the exact same suit he wore in TASM 2. And even said, and I quote, "I still fit it, bruh." And it definitely helps that Andrew's suit was made with newer technology that helps it last longer, and let's not forget that it was only in storage for about 5 or 6 years at that point. Tobey's, on the other hand, well, this set photo leaked sometime before the movie came out, showing all three of their suits. Tom and Andrew's looks perfectly fine, but Tobey's... Jesus Christ, man, what happened to you? And no, this isn't a final battle version they just had out till they found the clean one. That was the clean one, and it's definitely seen better days. Tobey's suit was made out of the Time's technology back to 2005 and 6, and it was in storage for about 11 to 12 years at that point. And since nobody bothered to take care of it, Time was not kind to this suit. So the costume designers had to scramble to make him a new one from scratch in order to meet deadline. Due to this basic rush that I'm theorizing, it could also explain why the CG model is so messed up. because one, they never did a full scan of him in the suit with the mask on, because I pointed this out in the SH Figure Arts review. Anytime he is in the full getup, mask and everything, it is fully CGI. As a matter of fact, there's even footage in behind the scenes shots where you can see Tobey and Andrew pulling on quote unquote invisible masks, because, you know, that's for the VFX team to CGI them in. The actual mask they were going to physically use in the movie looks different than what the CGI model looks like. And you can definitely tell that's pretty much what happened, because Disney is a billion-dollar company. Are you actually going to sit here and tell me they couldn't spare some change for the costume budget to make a more accurate suit to the original movies? Yeah, I thought so. I apologize for the autistic hyperfixation ramblings, but I just had to get that out of my system in some way, shape, or form. I know it makes me sound like I hate this figure, but please, just trust me, bro. I actually love this figure for what it is, and it still feels like an extremely solid figure. But before I get into his posability, let's get into his...
This is something else.
Tobey comes with a shit load of accessories, even more than the SH Figure Arts figure. Oh boy. He comes with fists, relaxed hands, wall crawling hands, neutral gravity hands, web grabbing hands, 2 sets of pointing hands, one for the meme, the other I can only assume is to recreate this Spider-Man 2 salute, or... flipping hands. He also comes with magnetic hands and feet, and they work perfectly, as you can see him on my Mafex TASM 2 Deluxe wall. These magnets are extremely strong. Good enough. Welcome back, Spider-Man 2 Magnetic Spider-Man. Here's something a lot of people wish the SH Figure Arts figure came with. He comes with a villain cure, specifically the one that cures Sandman. Fun fact, this little doohickey is a mini reverse molecular stabilizer. While I'm a little disappointed it doesn't have a gimmick where it opens up like it does in the movie. I can understand why Mafex didn't do that, considering how small it is. It just runs the risk of parts snapping off. And an unmasked accessory that he can hold. He also comes with 2 unmasked head sculpts. One with a neutral face and one with a natural smile. Honestly, Mafex did a killer job with these Tobey heads. They definitely beat SH Figure Arts in this regard. I also like the smile that Mafex Tobey has, because it doesn't remind me of a scene that nearly made me rage quit the movie.
Is that happening, or am I dying?
It also comes with a variety of web effects, along with the patented Mafex stand. The accessory that really caught my eye is the final one, the Sling Ring Portal. If you watch the movie, you know this is how Tobey and Andrew were introduced into the third act. You know, the CEO of Sex was just trying to portal some bitches to him, but he got 2 Sigma males that outranked him instead.
Just closed.
SH Figure Arts did something similar with their black and gold suit Tom as a limited pre-order bonus, but the portal there is just a flat piece of plastic with a decal on it. Mafex here took the extra care and made it into an actual standable model. They could have just left it at the other accessories and called it a day, but not only did they include this with no extra cost, they went the extra mile to make it a standalone model. It just feels like they were flexing on SH Figure Arts at this point, and it's very amazingly detailed, along with the edges being a translucent yellow and modeled like a ring of fire. But all these accessories are no good if he can't pose. How well can he pose? Well,
Now dig on this.
up and down at the head, move side to side, swivel here. These butterfly joints have an extremely wide range of motion, as he can actually adequately cross his arms. 360 rotation, arm moves out, bicep swivel here, double bend at the elbow, up and down at the wrist, but if you turn the peg, it can move side to side. Diaphragm joints in the torso can crunch, arc, move side to side, and swivel. Soft crotch along with the drop down hips allow for a great kick. Holy shit, this man can kick. I don't even the SH Figure Arts can't even do that. Hang on, let me turn on my camera. I haven't done this in a hot minute, but beautiful spread, thigh swivel, double bend at the knee, ankle swivel, up and down, toe bend, and an ankle pivot. Poseability is fucking awesome. You can pull off whatever pose you creatively put your mind to. And those issues I have with the shoulders magically disappear, especially considering how deep these butterfly joints can go in comparison to SH Figure Arts. And I was pleasantly surprised with how good Mafex's hip articulation is on this figure. He can even pop a squat like SHF can. And good lord, his kick. Now, Let's move on to...
Earth's mightiest. How's this helping?
Honestly, aesthetics-wise, get rid of this gloss coat and leave it as a matte finish. The blue parts are a matte finish, so they're perfectly fine. But why didn't they just keep it consistent for the red parts? And honestly, the No Way Home style details in the torso just irk me at this point.
All the art studio! Drop another 2002 accurate torso for the Mafex, and my life is yours.
I also feel like the butterfly joints are kind of in the wrong spot. Instead of starting in the collarbone, they should be towards the sides of the chest. Honestly, that's about it. Oh, obligatory, get rid of this abomination of a head. As a matter of fact, just for funsies, let's run a test to see how it looked with the Faroul head. Honestly, really fun fact in the middle of me recording this video, I learned on Instagram that you can actually, I don't know if this was an accident or not, but the neck joint in the SH Figure Arts figure and the neck joint in the Mafex figure are actually interchangeable. So you can pop the neck out of the SH Figure Arts, pop it onto the Mafex, and whatever custom Faroul head you have will actually fit. Now, of course, the paint job has to be fixed in order to color correct it, but I'm still gonna wait for the Faroul head to come in because, you know, it'll be the correct pattern. That's another thing that would fucking irk my autism, like, the pattern wouldn't be correct. But anyways, just wanted to point that out to you guys.
Clint, we're trying to help you!
He stands at 5.6 inches, almost at 6 inches. Here he is next to ToyBiz.gog, ToyBiz Mary Jane, PW Toys Green Monster, fellow official Mafex figure number 88 Venom, Marvel Legends Amazing Fantasy 15 Spider-Man, my last review, the CT Toys Mafex 001 Amazing Spider-Man, me and my girlfriend, and finally, the Marvel Legends and SH Figure Arts Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I feel like I'm forgetting someone.
I think this situation calls for a hands-on approach.
Hey, Parker.
My God, Eddie.
Whoa, Parker. No clever quip about the suit? Oh, I'm disappointed.
Eddie, the suit. You gotta take it off. Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Like looking in a mirror, ain't it? Only I'm bigger and better.
Bet I could sue you for copyright and win.
Oh, right. That's why I was so eager to get my hands on Mafex Tobey. If you're wondering where I got this from, I commissioned it from Bent Custom Studio on Instagram. It uses the KO Mafex 88 Venom as a base, and honestly, I love this thing. So far, the closest I will ever get to a good 112 Reveiw Venom for Spider-Man 3. Honestly, I got my fingers crossed that someone down the line will make their definitive 112 Spider-Man 3 Venom that will be mass-produced, but until then, I've got this guy.
Trying to do better.
I give this figure a 9 out of 10.
That's a cute outfit. Did your husband give it to you?
Oh, but Arachnid, what about all that complaining you did in the overview? You still give this figure a near-perfect score.
Oh, well, Heil Hitler, bitch!
Well, I feel like a lot of people were being way too harsh on this figure in the online space, and I feel like this figure is being wrongly crucified. The only reason this figure isn't a perfect 10 is solely because that gloss finish on the red parts. And I think that's where a lot of people are getting upset about this figure. The promotional material, along with the physical prototype photos, advertised that this figure would have a vibrant color scheme with a matte finish. The release figure definitely looks different, and I think that suddenly translated in people's heads that it was false advertising. All of a sudden, this figure is just automatically bad. Personally, I think people, once again, are blowing this out of proportion, and I will admit, I temporarily fell into the hive mind mentality of, this figure looks like shit, Mafex sucks! And I'm so glad I decided to remain neutral until I got the figure in hand, because despite the design issues, I actually enjoy this figure, and it's just gonna, all it really needs is a trilogy accurate head, and it's gonna be perfect. I think we finally have a definitive Tobey Spider-Man figure that could be used as a base to make the definitive trilogy accurate Tobey Spider-Man. And you know what? I used to make this joke, the SH Figure Arts, and I think even the Marvel Legends video about, oh, does this figure top the Toy Biz? I know I gave that to SH Figure Arts. I know I just definitely couldn't give it to Marvel Legends. But I think in this case, the crown goes to Mafex. I think Mafex earned that crown. Congratulations, Mafex. You did it. Before I end this video, I want to talk directly to CT Toys. Yeah. I caught you watching my video, CT Toys developers. Now, I know in the future, CT will release their own rendition of this figure, so they're probably looking at feedback from people about the original to see what they can do to make theirs different. Well, for starters, keep the red and blue a matte finish. Venomous Collector applied a matte finish to his Tobey, and personally I think it looks way better. Do not add any gloss unless if it's a metallic finish on the cobwebs and the spider symbol. And change the head, especially if you're going to do variants again. CT did the SHF Tobey, they also did a black suit version, and they made the mistake of not giving him a trilogy accurate head. This figure could help rectify that mistake, considering CT has shown that they're not above including parts that are meant for other figures in newer releases. But let's be real, it's not like you're getting a mid as fuck figure and paying an arm and a leg just so you can get one accessory for another figure that you own. Another accessory you could add is a young Tobey head. Please, I'm begging you, I need a young Tobey head for this figure, and if they do a black suit variant, they could do a Bully Maguire head. I have a feeling CT will leave out a few accessories for their release, so it would make sense for the two accessories to sacrifice would be the Sling Ring Portal and Sandman's Cure. In other words,
CT Toys! Drop the Mafex 241 Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and my life is yours.